Welcome to Frida Miletsky Healing Arts. I'm your host, Frida, and I am the healing artist. Hello, friends. Today is Friday, March 28th, and I am recording this podcast for the last day of March, the 31st. Oh man. So, the great news is that the roof construction project is completely over. The check has been given, all the I's have been dotted, the T's have been crossed. Done. My goal for this project was to move through it in a calm, peaceful, enlightened way. That is absolutely not what happened, y'all. What happened was this project brought up for me day in and day out for 8 days. Every trigger, frustration, annoyance, every sort of thing that could come up around this project came up for me. So then I'd get the chance to sink into it. Sometimes I threw a temper tantrum about it privately or in front of my husband, not directed at my husband, but in front of him, and would have to move through all of the feelings around what was going on, arrive at neutral, like day in and day out. So this project was like this incredible test. And I found myself as a recovering food addict, I found myself soothing with food throughout the process. So it was just really interesting. I moved into self-soothing with food, which is something that, I thought that I had completely eliminated from my system, like the consciousness awareness around having food difficulties, eating disorder, like that kind of disordered eating behavior. I thought I had grabbed that one tendril by tendril by tendril over many, many, many years. I thought I had conquered it. And I watched myself move into several times going into some sort of fugue state and just like really binge eating, overeating. So just noticing, accepting, being incredibly kind to myself through this process and just being like, okay, Freed, we're still, still human, working on the things, still having, just there's a consciousness around it and still like noticing that this comes up and there's work to do here. I brought it to the light last night with my teacher, Rennie, and we worked on it some more. So my loves, I would just share that I am a work in progress, as we all are. Any healer, any teacher that stands in front of you and says that they have all the answers is full of bullpocky. It's not true. Everybody has something that they're working on. And anybody that comes at you and is trying to like tell you that there's only one way of doing things or it's their way and that they have just, they know the secrets, it's just run is all I can say, honeys, run. So I haven't been sure what I was going to talk to you about today. I've been waiting for the house to be quiet, and I was going to tell you that that project was done. And after that, I don't really have a lot of chit-chat. I have nothing incredible happening, other than I'm in the thick of doing my own work with the things that came up around the house. And I don't really feel like talking about them because it's annoying. And it's all of the work that I'm doing on my own, and I'm just tired of thinking about it. Let's just say this. Ways in which that the house project brought stuff up for me was like at one point when we originally hired this company, we had a conversation about making sure that the nail length was correct when putting the new asphalt section of the roof, because we have these gorgeous vaulted ceilings. It's why we love this house so much. But this particular feature of the home is like, that is the roof. Those are the beams of the roof. We're seeing the same boards on the inside that are on the outside. There's nothing in between. So because of that, like there isn't some grand nail length for them to be. There isn't like lots of wood there. These have to be shorter nails. And like we had talked about that beforehand. Yes, Frida, don't worry, we're gonna have the right nail length. And at like some point during this project, early on, like nails started shooting through the ceiling. And I'm like, I went screaming out the front door like a bloody banshee. And then another huge trigger for me is the inability to have clear, concise communication. I love speaking clearly and having understanding. I have to have understood back and forth. I want to know exactly what's going on. I like to know what the program is, lay it out for me. And while the person who is in charge of booking the clients and getting everything set up with the company spoke wonderful English, like the crew that was working on the house, often there was no one here that spoke English. So like running out of the house and trying to have a conversation to Spanish speakers to please stop putting these nails through the ceiling. And like my husband speaks Spanish quite well, but he's running out of the house. It was kind of a nightmare. And at one point later in the week, the electricity totally went out in our kitchen, and we didn't make a connection to it being the roof. So it was like, oh man. So we go to the breaker box, and the breaker just keeps tripping. The electricity is being super weird in the kitchen. So we called our electrician. He came in here. He had 3 workers. So it was 3 electricians in the house dealing with everything, 5 roofers on the roof. And I'm like surrounded by men. They're doing this stuff. Corey is taking care of it because I've started priestess training in the school of the Magdalene Mysterium, which is working with Mary Magdalene's energies. Anyway, I'm in my ceremonial outfit, tending my altar, waving a piece of freaking incense around, clearing my space and getting ready to do my practice in this beautiful container of women. We're going to work on our wombs together. And meanwhile, I am surrounded by hammering, craziness, the power being out in the kitchen, and the electricians up on ladders into this 14-foot ceiling. And it had taken, like, we didn't put this together, but the connection was that the roofers had gone through and severed a wire, which is why everything was like tripping out in the kitchen. So it was actually a roofing error. And then they had to take a portion of the roof off and like blah, blah, blah. It was like something that was cuckoo bananas. Classic Mercury retrograde. Yes, we're having the work done during the retrograde because of course we are, because that is the way that things always seem to fall into place. Like give it the most amount of obstacles and then let's put it all together. Anyway, it was craziness. And I found myself just like triggered beyond belief, getting annoyed and then sinking into the annoyance, finding it in my body, taking it to the woods or taking it to breathing exercises, taking it to my journal, having a temper tantrum, whatever that thing was, moving the energy. So listen, a lot of good work happened. It was a transformative portal of time, but as you can tell from my voice, annoying beyond belief and something that I'm just like grateful that it's over. And I'm still sort of in like maybe that like shell-shocked after period because it only just completed Wednesday. So I haven't fully like integrated the experience. Oh my gosh, I said I wasn't going to get worked up and talk to you about that, and I just did. So what to talk about today? Well, I did get my author's copies of my book. So I had wrote a book earlier in the year 2025 called Learning to Love Myself, and my stack of author's copies arrived in the mail. Hooray! So I thought I could show that to you. Also, I ordered some author's copies of my first book, I Am You, You Are Me, Words for My Inner Child. And so now I have those. Really, how would I put this? Like, how would I say the words that I want to say without being like, let me see. Some energies became incredibly apparent after the current political party took possession of the White House, after this happened, there was some pretty clear evidence that certain things were no longer in alignment with my value system. And I then wanted to try to take action to figure out how to eliminate needing to use certain sources. So I do not completely agree with the business practices of Amazon at all. And yet Amazon sort of has this corner hold on the market of how they self-publish and do print-on-demand books. Both of my books were uploaded and sold through Amazon. That is the way that they do it. They are the absolutely most reasonably priced way to have a self-published print-on-demand book. So I investigated multiple other avenues of self-publishing, and without having like a big wad of money at the beginning portion to have these things printed, and a lot of the print houses also require like setup fees and other things, without having that and desiring to ask for that through a Kickstarter or a community, really Amazon is the only way for me to print my books at a reasonable cost. There's other services that I investigated, but they make the books extremely expensive. Like ultimately these books would, like the starter price before shipping and before being able to send them out to people, were like in like the high 20s or low 30s, just the starter cost. Well, the books aren't worth that. So it didn't make a ton of sense to me. So anyway, they're still on Amazon, but something that I can have control over is like a way that they get distributed, which is I can buy authors' copies of these books and then I can ship them out. It's an added step that I'm not super interested in doing, but yet ethically at this moment in time, that was sort of where I was arriving at feeling a little better about it. Because I'm not exactly sure what to do. Like, I love my books and I want to share them with the world. And I also have a little teeny bit of an internal conflict and like a squeeze, a feeling that's just like not exactly totally right. It is not entirely in an alignment for me to come on here and be like, go to Amazon and get this and that. Like, it just isn't quite right. And I haven't exactly found a solution outside of, at this point, ordering authors' copies and then saying, reach out to me and I can send you one if you live in the US. If you do not live in the United States, it absolutely is of your best interest to get my book off of Amazon because of shipping. It just is. So it's tricky. Yeah, it's one of those like ethical and moral dilemmas that I still haven't totally felt into understanding how to work with. So let me show you my book. My most recent book is called Learning to Love Myself. And it is all about self-love. So what do you think? Would it be fun for me to read this to you? That would certainly be our episode, wouldn't it? All right. So if you have the ability to see video, you can see the pictures. If not, you can just listen to the words. Learning to Love Myself, written and illustrated by Frida Miletsky. That's me. This book is dedicated to my parents, Sue and Al Miletsky. I am no longer the miserable 12-year-old kid, hunched over, lost in sad thoughts, shouldered slumped in defeat after a day at school. I'm still your daughter, but like a phoenix risen from the ashes, I'm a new version of the human you raised. A more whole, perfect, and complete middle-aged lady who is happy to be alive. Thank you for your unwavering support, love, and generosity as I painstakingly spent 30 years discovering how to be reborn. Self-love is a lifelong practice. Each day, you commit to your utmost care, kindness, and patience with yourself. You deserve this. There is only one of you in the entire universe, and you, my love, are absolutely magnificent. What are some examples of self-love? Self-love is showing up for yourself no matter what. Self-love is setting and honoring your boundaries. Self-love is putting your own mask on first. Self-love is valuing your feelings and truly allowing yourself to feel them in the moment. Self-love is practicing positive self-talk. Self-love is prioritizing your own well-being. Self-love is celebrating your achievements. Self-love is saying, no thank you, when whatever you're being offered isn't a hell yes. Self-love is honoring your body in every way. Self-love is pausing before responding. Self-love is wearing clothing your body feels good in. Self-love is moving your body the way it wants to move. Self-love is allowing yourself to rest. Self-love is making it a priority to get enough sleep. Self-love is drinking water and staying hydrated. Self-love is learning to quiet the mind and practicing meditation. Self-love is forgiving yourself when you make a mistake. Self-love is being kind to yourself when you feel sick. Self-love is speaking kindly to yourself when you're hurt or injured and allowing your body to heal and recover. Self-love is accepting your flaws. Self-love is doing your shadow work and loving every aspect of yourself. Your inner darkness and your inner light are both held in equal esteem. Both are you, and both are worthy of unconditional love. Self-love is treating yourself with kindness and empathy. Self-love is prioritizing alone time. Self-love is connecting to nature. Self-love is learning to make the right choices for you, conducted from your internal guidance, not from exterior sources. Self-love is using your discernment. Self-love is connecting to your higher self, your intuition, and listening. Self-love is following your bliss. Self-love is living your life for yourself. Self-love is trying new things and allowing yourself to be bad at them. Self-love is allowing yourself to explore your world without piles of self-judgment. Self-love is to follow your joy and play. Self-love is a revolutionary act in America. We are programmed from infancy that we are not enough. So waking up to our enoughness as a birthright is a radical, profound act. We cannot be controlled, manipulated, or sold things that we do not choose when we are unconditionally loving to ourselves. And here is the book. I love myself. Yes, I love me. I love myself unconditionally. Let's see if I can arrange myself here so you can see the pictures at the same time. There we go. This affection didn't just happen. I wasn't born this way, filled with all the self-love that I have today. I learned to self-love. I practiced for years. I never gave up. I cried so many tears. I woke up around 40 and finally could see I'd lived my whole life, just never lived it for me. It was my teacher who said in class one day, Frida, you're the lead character of your play. The lead of my play? Was that even allowed? I'd been conditioned to help others, to never stand out. Codependence, the word to describe how I'd lived. I'd learned it quite early, since I was a kid. So I got down to work, took it seriously. I thought I'd erased my codependency. Yet here it was still, a remnant remaining, reappearing again in the form of self-shaming. I'd showed love to the world, as much love as could be, but my internal dialogue didn't speak love to me. When I sat with her words, when they really sunk in, a new way of living I chose to begin. If I was the lead, the star of the show, these seeds of self-love I'd need to help grow. I'd be kind to myself, no matter what. I'd put myself first, no ifs, ands, or buts. My internal voice was in for a change. No more blame and no more shame. The negative self-talk I used to display, I wouldn't even talk to a villain that way. When I ate too much or had unfinished chores, when I spilled on the carpet, when I ran into doors, I was kind to myself. I spoke words of affection. I treated my feelings with utmost protection. Every time my mind wandered, I'd catch it soon after, come back to the present, and return to laughter. Oh, silly, I'd say, there you go again. Let's return to the now, and ever since then, there is no future, there is no past, there is only this moment for as long as it lasts. I gave my inner voice a mantra to run. Change didn't come easy, but I made the goal fun. Over and over I had the voice say a Ho'oponopono prayer I learned back in the day. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. This became my default, it's all she would say, and that mean little voice slowly faded away. I belted out love songs for my own mental health. Every song for a lover I crooned to myself. Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall, for the chance to be with you, I'd gladly risk it all. I sang to myself on repeat and full voice, every car trip a chance for self-love as my choice. I held my body in kindness, loving all that I see. Every freckle, each vein, each gray hair, it's all me. I spent time in the mirror. I smiled and I said, "You are just so beautiful, my magnificent friend." Change wasn't easy. I got hung up on my fat, but the way I finally got over that was to think of my fat friends. They're beautiful to me. I'd never want them to berate their body. I love all their curves, so I chose to love mine. These thoughts about fat, they aren't even mine. As a woman who lives in the US, you see, I found I'd absorbed the patriarchy. When my thoughts tell my body she's less than amazing, a list of her attributes I start naming. She is strong, she is healthy, she walks for miles on hills. My body loves water, and I drink more than my fill. She loves physical labor and moving around. My body, sweet body, is truly profound. I gift myself yoga, I gift myself swims, I gift myself time to go deep within. I am patient with me, soak in Epsom salt baths. I spend time in nature, enjoy belly laughs. I am not in a rush, I now rarely hurry. I don't watch the news, I don't dwell in worry. I gift to myself whatever I need to become the most excellent version of me. I am self-ordained. I love myself first. I take the time that it takes to fill up my cup, tend to my inner stakes. Everything that I give, all that I share, what I have for you comes from all this self-care. When I love myself first, it's easy to see there's no reason to take things personally. It took years of practice to believe and to see I was worthy of love for just being me. But I did it! I never gave up, and I'm here telling you, if I can do it, so can you. Your journey won't look the same as mine. We each have our own road to wind. Our starting places are different, it's true, but unconditional love is available to you. The self-love journey is a powerful technique to make being a human on earth très magnifique. The world is truly a beautiful place when self-love is the foundation for all that you face. And that's my book. And then at the back of my book, I have some what if questions for you. What if? What if questions are hypothetical questions that we can ask ourselves to bring on self-reflection, contemplation, and to get into the energy of possibility. By asking what if, we can explore potential possibilities we may not be able to currently see. And here's the list. What if you allow yourself to be happy? What if you allow yourself time to explore and discover what brings you joy? What if you allow yourself to embrace everything about yourself, just as you are right now in this moment? What if you allow yourself to smile? What if you let yourself laugh? What if you stopped worrying about what other people think of how you look, act, or perform? What if you stopped caring what others thought of you at all? What if you let yourself play? What if you said yes? What if you fell asleep at night saying, I love you, to you? What if you woke up saying, I love you, over and over to yourself as you began your day? What if you made a dedicated effort to deeply, truly fall in love with yourself? What if you went outside and took yourself on a walk? What if you prioritized your self-care? What if you asked for help when you needed it? What if you identified your needs, then asked for them to be met? What if you stopped doing things that you don't enjoy? What if you started to only pick things to do that you really loved? What if you said no? What if you allowed yourself to take a nap? What if you meditated every morning? What if you asked your body what it wanted to eat and then gave it what it asked for and stopped eating when it said it was full? What if you started keeping a gratitude journal? What if you started speaking your truth? What if you looked in the mirror and said, I love you? What if you stopped blaming others for the way that you feel? What if you took responsibility for all your actions? What if you started with, I like you, if love is too far of a stretch right off the top? What if you told yourself every day how proud you are of you for getting up and doing things and being a person in the world? What if you were kind to yourself today? What if you were patient with yourself today? What if you spoke to yourself like you would a beloved child? What if you recognized it is your birthright to be loved because you are love? You're made of love. We all are. And now we have a note from the author. As a freshman in college, I hated myself so much that I had the biohazard symbol tattooed on my back. I felt like a walking pile of human waste. a cesspool of filthy, unworthy, steaming garbage. I never believed that I would be worthy of love, acceptance, kindness, or forgiveness. No matter how much therapy I had, prayers I prayed, or art I made to try and squeeze the loathing and anger out of my blood. I was a disgrace. I wanted to die. I just absolutely and completely hated myself. The biohazard symbol was something I thought was cool. While extremely sick with bronchitis that I'd given myself from cigarettes and sitting in a smoky coffee shop for hours on end, I was laying on a hospital gurney in the ER when the image of the biohazard symbol swam into focus. The symbol was on a container where people disposed of used needles. A huge Tank Girl comic fan, I felt as if this would be a tattoo she would wear. I chose to mark my body like the garbage I believed I was. As the years passed and my healing work continued, I would occasionally think of this symbol I placed on my body and cringe. It was a source of shame. At age 18, I didn't have the perspective to see there was a possibility I wouldn't always feel that awful about myself. I spent my late 20s and 30s rolling my eyes at myself. I'd make jokes about my tattoo. Around age 38, I looked into having it removed. By 40, I was glad it was there. Holy smokes, I've come a long way. That girl who felt like human waste transformed into a powerful, grounded beacon of light. I overcame childhood sexual abuse, verbal abuse, and nicotine addiction, a 25-year-long eating disorder, workaholism, codependency. The list continues. Honey, if I can heal myself, you can heal yourself. I have gone from wanting to die to possessing a self-love that lights up the room. I love myself so much. The transformation is incredible. I wouldn't remove that tattoo for anything. It is a symbol of where I came from. In love, your friend Frida. And then I have a page of gratitude and this picture, this self-portrait I had made. In this self-portrait, I put a little flower coming out of the biohazard symbol. It's not the reality of it. It's just the biohazard symbol. With gratitude, I would like to thank my husband, Corey. He stands by my side and helps me in all aspects of life, supporting me in any way he can. He loved me when I wasn't very nice to myself, and he loves me as I treat myself with exquisite care. Thank you to my spiritual teacher, Rennie, who helped me understand I am the main character of my story. Thank you to my big sister, Sophie, who is my biggest cheerleader. I am so grateful we are not just sisters, but also friends. Thank you to my spiritual bestie, Christine Jew. I can't remember a time where you were not my friend, despite the fact that we've only known each other for 3 years. I can tell you anything, and you hold space for me to process and just be unapologetically me. I love you, lady. Thank you to Cassidy Brown, Deb Stanley, and all those who gave input and editing to help on this work. You make me better. And to all my badass ladies in my healing circles as we walk the path of the rose, to my MILFs from Mother Earth and my pine crones, may all of us fall in love with ourselves unconditionally and roll around in the magic of the universe. Divine Feminine Rising. And then these last little pages here, I have some QR codes for my other book and my podcast that you're listening to right now, and my Instagram page, and that's that. So that, my loves, is learning to love myself, which I am incredibly proud of. Would you like to hear my other book? Should we just piggyback since it's sitting next to me? It's going to be a long episode. So we're on a roll. So I'm going to share my first book with you. This one is called I Am You, You Are Me, Words from My Inner Child. I also got some author copies of this. So if you're interested, you can reach out, or the links to Amazon are also here, or you can get them through me if you live in the US. So this says, this book is dedicated to my inner child. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Ho'oponopono prayer. What happened to you was not your fault, my love. A note from the author. I drew these pictures while therapeutically working through the periods of my life where I experienced childhood trauma. My childhood pain was impacting my adult life, so I took to reparenting therapy and parts work to integrate all aspects of myself and live a more whole and fulfilling life. I dedicated myself completely to this journey over the course of 2 years. Reparenting therapy. Reparenting is a form of therapy where you identify unmet childhood needs. You then learn to meet those needs for yourself. It requires an honest examination of current behaviors and understanding of why we behave the way we do. What needs are we trying to have met? By identifying and feeling the feelings of all of the emotions around each need, we can unlearn programmed and maladaptive behaviors and ask for our needs to be met in the now. This process requires patience and a devotion to loving our inner child and helping them feel safe. It is work that takes dedicated time and effort to really show up for the inner child. And then parts work. Parts work is about reintegrating aspect of the self that shattered away during traumatic experiences. It requires us to honor, feel, and see the fragmented pieces of self, allowing them to have their say, and then welcoming them home. And now the book. Age 1. A baby is born, and she is me. I am her, and we are we. I hold myself as tight as can be. I love you, sweet baby, unconditionally. Age 2. You always have snacks, juice, a tight squeeze, something to engage with, a book, a light breeze. The sound of your laughter, it makes me laugh too. And crying is welcome. It's okay to boo-hoo. Age 3. Let's read a book. Read forever, you say. Time holds no meaning when we're lost in wordplay. Forever we'll read till you fall fast asleep. And tomorrow night we can repeat. Age 5. Sometimes life is hard and difficult and sad. Things feel overwhelming and unbearably bad. I'm here, I'm holding you, dear. We can withstand anything. I'm with you through the fear. I'm you in the future. We survive and we thrive. No one can take away our lives. Age 6. We are the architects, the gods of these lands. You built up walls, but they were built on sand. I'll want to know every wall that you built. It's a castle made of shame and guilt. Some walls kept us safe, and we needed them then. But now that I'm with you, we can unbuild them again. Age 7. Let's pray pretend. Who shall we be? Dressing up indefinitely. I don't know who I am, nor do you. That's okay. I suppose we can be anyone today. We stay in the moment till we find what is best, and together we both will get our needs met. Age 8. There's so much that we want. We want all that we see, to hold on to life and love endlessly. I hold your hand, I care, you matter. I'll take a knee, inner child, and listen to you chatter. We get badges and merits every lesson we learn. We display them with pride, knowing each was well earned. Age 10. There are times we are awkward, there are times we feel small. There are times we get chubby, and then we grow tall. I'll be by your side through the thick and the thin. You're forever my baby, my child within. Age 42. I love you forever. I am you, you are me. Together, my love, we are we. I promise to listen. I'll keep you in mind. We are stronger together. Forever you inside. And that's my book. And then I have a gratitude page. With deepest gratitude. I want to thank my teacher and healer, Rennie, for being by my side for years. You energetically hold my heart and my hand as I transform into the beautiful human I am becoming. Thank you to Cassidy Brown for being one of my most important people on my healing journey thus far. You listen, reflect, and hold space for me to grow and transform. Your edits on this work were welcomed and helpful. You made this book better as you have made me better over the years. Thank you to my healer and friend, Christine Jew. Woo-woo side pony besties forever. Thank you to my big sister, Sophie, for your friendship, inspiration, and lifelong support. You have always been there for me. Knowing how loved and held that makes me feel, well, I'm a very lucky little sister. Being on this healing path together is beyond my wildest dreams. Together, we are rocking this lifetime. Thank you to my husband, Corey. He didn't know he was marrying a lady who would have a catastrophic spiritual awakening and transform into a whole new person. Your love, support, and commitment to my happiness and care have allowed me to do this work in a way where I always knew my physical needs were met. I love our life together, and I love you. Let's keep making cool stuff. I want to thank my mother and father for loving me through thick and thin. When I disclosed my childhood sexual abuse, they immediately hopped into action and started me on this healing journey. They have stood by my side for 43 years to date and always loved and supported every version of me. And it ends with a picture of me and my mama, which is so cute. And that is my book, I Am You, You Are Me, Words from My Inner Child. You can go to my website, fridahealing.com, and you can email me and request a signed copy of either one of these books. Or you can also just go on Amazon and get them. If you have any interest in joining my program, Return to Self-Love, you are welcome to reach out to me on my website and book a 20-minute consultation call. I can show you the back end of Return to Self-Love. I can see what your needs are and share a little bit more about what we do in there with you and invite you into a free session. You can come to one of the classes and see if you're into it. And yeah, you don't have to attend literally when it is happening. You have access to the videos in the platform and you can do them at your convenience at any time. Your energy will be included within the group. So yeah, find out more about Return to Self-Love. If you're interested, reach out. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me for reading and storytelling and all of the things. I love you. God, Universe, Source loves you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.